Hello, hello everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. I have a 12 by 12 scrapbooking layout for you, and I'm going to be doing some mixed media for my project today. I wanted to start out here just by showing you how I have swatched out my Lindy Stamp Gang Magicals. What I do when I get a new color or a new color set is I just like to swatch them out onto some mixed media paper. So this is the Victorian Bouquet collection. Each one of the sets comes with 5 different colors. This one has Hydrangea Blue, Canna Lily Burnt Orange, Lucky Shamrock Green, Sweet Violet Purple Teal, and Ramblin Rose Pink. These are all super shimmery. They have lots of mica or whatever it is in them that makes them really super shiny. They're so beautiful, and I love using these things. This is the Drop Dead Diva collection. I think it's my favorite. These colors are just so vibrant and pretty. Sassy Sapphire, Drop Dead Green, Blingy Blonde, High Maintenance Magenta, and Prima Donna Purple in that collection. So gorgeous. Sassy Sapphire at the top is just amazing. This next one that I have here is called Drink Me Silly, and it includes Blue Hawaiian, Cosmopolitan Pink, My Mojito Green, Fuzzy Navel Peach, a bit of Bubbly. And I'm just going to show you here. I'm going to be using the Dear Lizzy She's Magic collection today. And that Fuzzy Navel Peach color that I'm showing you there is just perfect for this. I'm actually going to use 3 colors from that set for my project today. I've also got the Mad Hatter collection, including Teapot Purple, Mad Hatter Mint, Queen of Hearts Red, Curious Chartreuse, and Tweedledee Denim. Just so sparkly and pretty. Just love that. And I also have the Prairie Wildflower Magical Set, which includes Million Bells Brown, Peony Scarlet, Bells of Ireland Green, Yellow Rose of Texas, and Bachelor Button. And I am going to use the Bachelor Button and Yellow Rose of Texas today from that Prairie Wildflower set. So I just wanted to lay these swatches out on my table and go through the 6x8 paper pad from She's Magic and just kind of like eyeball what I thought maybe would be the most complementary colors from that collection. I really love this collection. I think it's super cool. I'm a huge Dear Lizzy fan. I always find that her collections and her products are a little bit different, and I just I love them. I love the products, and I love the colors in this collection. I wanted to do this layout today kind of using a little bit of kind of a rainbow effect, but not completely because I don't end up using any purple. But I wanted to just use the colors from the collection as my inspiration here today. So you can see there I'm just pointing to that, the different greens and pinks and oranges and yellows that I want to use. And the blue, that Bachelor Button blue is really going to be really nice with the tone of blue that's in the collection. And just try to use a smattering of different colors across my layout today to bring out the different colors that I'm going to use from this collection. I love that the 6x8 pad has the kind of foiling in it, and there's lots of kind of iridescent colorings or finishes in this collection, which I think is really neat. And I just love the sparkle and shine that the magicals add to your layout. So I really was excited to use these today. Now I've already treated my Bazzill Marshmallow cardstock that I'm going to be using with some clear gesso. I've just recently, I did a whole bunch of gessoing of pages just so that I would have a bunch ready to go. And I am going to apply a little bit of molding paste over top of it, some texture paste as well. And I'm just once again showing you here how I'm just going to match up some of the colors here with the paper pad. So still looking at the paper pad. If you haven't seen this, it is a gorgeous collection, lots of different options. And I think I am soon going to be set to go. So I'm just going to pack those up, set those aside, and I'm going to start to think about adding that texture paste to my background. Now I do have this Carta stencil here that I'm going to be using. I will list it in the description box below here, along with all of the other supplies that I'm using today. And I'm going to just apply this onto my layout using a just my little palette knife from my stash. So this is really stuck on here. I thought maybe that plastic paper or the plastic wrap would help allow me to get that off a little bit more easily, but that did not help a whole lot. Anyways, I now have the lid off my texture paste and I'm just going to add it through that stencil. Now I wanted to add it in a few different places, but basically on the 2/3 of the paper that are on kind of like the leftmost side. So if you broke this paper down into thirds, the leftmost third and the middle third of the paper are going to have the texture paste on it. And then closer to the right side of the edge of the paper, there won't be any texture paste at all. And I wanted to kind of keep my color from my magicals to the area where I have the texture paste. So I'm going to add the color over top of that and just create a really neat effect in that way. Not all of the texture paste is going to be colored. There is going to be a little bit poking out here and there, and that's fine. And this is going to be just really, really loose mixed media. It's not perfect. It's not in any boundary or really defined space, but it's just really pretty loose. Now, what I did was I just added the powder to a little watercolor palette, a little paint palette. And I added the magicals to a different magical to each one of those little compartments in my tray. And I added some water. And now I'm just going in with a wet paintbrush and I'm adding that onto my project. Now, I'm also going in every once in a while with a little bit of the powder right out of the little container because what I find sometimes happens is when you mix the magicals with water in those little paint trays, sometimes some of the different colors that are mixed in there kind of just get lost. And so what I find is really neat with the magicals is if you leave a little bit of moisture on your paper and you pick up the powder right out of the container and put it onto the water, then that's when you start to see the different color properties and pigments that are within the powder. And that's what makes this stuff magical, in my opinion, is how you get all of these different colors that come out of that one powder. So, you know, if it's a powder that's green, sometimes you'll find that there will be a little bit of purple and a little bit of blue mixed in there or whatever. So it's just really neat. I love that. Now, when I'm dabbing up the excess around the edges, that's just to soften the edges. And I'm doing that with a baby wipe, because if you do that with your paper towel, it's going to pick up a lot of the moisture, probably, well, for me anyways, too much. So the nice thing about using a baby wipe to do that is the baby wipe is already wet. So you have a little bit more control over how much of the water gets picked up. And it just really softens the edge of the color. So I'm just going to keep going in with these different colors. Like I said, I am going to list the colors below that I used. I will list them in order, but I did start off with a fuzzy navel peach. Then I used a bit of bubbly, and now I'm using the Cosmopolitan pink. I didn't want to mix these in an order that was going to make brown. So you'll see me here going in and grabbing some of the yellow rose of Texas, and I'm going to mix that next to the orange, and then that will buff up against or be up against the blue, which will kind of create a little bit of a green zone in between the yellow and the pinks and oranges, which is fine. And then that blue will go from there. And then lastly, I will add some green. And the green that I'm using here is the Mad Hatter green. Such a really pretty soft green. And I just thought that it just looked really nice with the green that's in that Dear Lizzy collection. Now, once again, you can just see me here going into that little powder container and picking that up directly, putting that onto my brush, just just so that I'm getting some of those different color properties mixing in there, and I love that. I'm also going to just add a little bit, spritz a little bit of water on there, let it kind of run around a little bit. Go back in with my brush. You'll see me go back in with a baby wipe. I'm also going to mix up or pick up some of the yellow and put it in over with the pinks and the oranges, just to get that over and repeat that color over in that area a little bit. And I will actually even mix in the yellow a little bit more over in the green area as well. Just softening up those edges again with that baby wipe. Lifting up some of the rogue splatters that got over in the other area there. Now I'm just taking some paper towel now that I've kind of got things kind of looking the way that I wanted them. And now what I did was I actually dried this with my heat tool before I splattered. If you splatter your splatters onto the wet, the splatters will just kind of start to disappear. So I dried it before I splattered. Now I am going to be using this gorgeous paper from the collection. It's called Magic. And I fussy cut the flowers from that because I do not have the die cuts for this collection yet. I have them ordered, but I haven't received them. I'm going to mat my 2 3x3 photos here with this pink pattern paper that actually has a kind of a silver foiling in it, or holographic foiling. I'm going to just tear the one edge, and I'm going to show you here slowly. When you want that white edge to show, you need to tear up. You need to lift the paper up instead of going down, and that's going to leave that nice white raw edge. And I'm going to change this up a little bit here later, and you'll see this at the end of the layout, but I end up reprinting my photos and leaving a white border on them just because I felt like they aren't popping off my page enough. I did back my photos with a little bit of a mat of tissue paper, which you won't see later anyways because I'm going to reprint them like I said. But I am going to pop them up on a little bit of foam adhesive. I'm so sorry that I'm working on an angle here. This is so weird. I don't know why this happened, but I think I straighten it out here in a bit. Now, I did want to just take my T-square ruler and make sure that my photos are straight. And now I've got some glue on the back of that photo mat. Super important to use liquid glue over top of all of this mixed media if you want it to stick. I'm going to take my T-square ruler again there just to make sure that my photo mat is straight. And now I'm going to pop up some of these fussy cut flowers with a little bit of foam adhesive. And what I did was I just put my first layer of flowers down flat. And now I'm going to pop another layer of flowers over top of that with a little bit of foam adhesive, bringing that up a little bit off of the layout. And I also cut a few little floral pieces out of the specialty paper from She's Magic, which is kind of a pink paper with white daisies, and it's got a little bit of foiling on it as well. And I just popped those around in different little spots on some foam adhesive as well here. So I'll do a little bit of a cluster down in the bottom right hand corner also with those fussy cut flowers, and I'll also put a little bit of floral detail in the top left hand corner of the layout, just to bring those florals into kind of like the 3 areas on the 2 sides, the left down to the bottom of the layout. So your eye kind of goes from the top left corner down the left side across to the bottom right side, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. While I'm sticking things down here, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the photos and what I'm scrapping about here today. These photos are photos of me and my aunt. My sister and I went to visit my aunt in BC in August this year, just to pay her a visit. We hadn't seen her for quite a while, and she lost her husband in June, which is super sad. They've been married for over 70 years and just an amazing couple. And she's just the sweetest lady. And we just wanted to go see her and you know, spend some time with her. She's been through a pretty tough time, and she's just the sweetest person you could meet. So we really enjoyed our visit, and I just wanted to document that. And I just thought this collection was perfect for what I wanted to do here today and for these two photos of her and I. So I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, I wanted to take the chipboard word smile from the chipboard sheet and create the title. I took some green alphas from, I think, Pink Fresh Studio for my stash and spelled out the word your, and so it's Your Smile is the title. I really love that chipboard piece there. It says make it happen, and that's exactly what we did. We made the trip happen. It was a priority, and we just went for it and went, even though like it was a little bit complicated, definitely for my sister because she's working. It wasn't as hard for me because, of course, I am now retired. But anyways, we did make it happen. It was totally worth it, and we had a really good visit with her. Now, I wanted to just cut my journaling strips here with using my computer printer. I just typed out all of the journaling in Microsoft Word using 9-point font Special Elite. And I've just printed those off and cut those off into strips. You'll just see me here adding some glue to those strips. I'm going to glue those down and just use that area to the right of the layout. So I've kind of kept everything over to the left so that there would be space on the right. And I've embellished with a bunch of different things, some chipboard, and I'm going in with some enamel dots here from the collection and some of the little phrase stickers. And that will finish it up. Now you're going to see pretty quick here, there's going to be a transition, and I'm going to show you that I replaced the photos with a white border, and you will see that it makes such a huge difference. The photos will really pop off of the layout, and I like it so much better this way because it really draws your eye to the pictures. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and I hope to see you soon again on my channel. Bye-bye.